What's going on? Jackie Montgomery filling in for Jen Mueller. John Boyle is here as we take a look at the numbers for week 2 against the Chicago Bears. The first number that we are looking at here is 14, and that is 14 touches by the running backs, something that the coaching staff would like to see more of.
Yeah, as Pete Carroll simply put it, that's not enough. You can't have your 2 lead running backs splitting 14 carries between them. They need to run the ball more. They want to run the ball better. And the big thing that ties into that, as Pete Carroll's pointed out, 2 of 12 on third down. That's not going to cut it because you just don't sustain enough drives to get those plays, to get the run game going, and that's a big part of what this team wants to do. So I think we're going to see them get those numbers up this week.
Definitely would hope so as they hit the road. Always a tough place when you're going elsewhere. But let's talk about sacks now. And the number there is 6, unfortunately given up by the Seahawks offensive line.
Yeah, and the reason that's so important going into this week, another elite pass rusher. Last week was Von Miller, who had 3 sacks, took the ball away with a fumble. This week, Khalil Mack, another just monstrous defensive end, so hard to deal with. And this is on everybody. You look at 6 sacks and people think, oh, the offensive line. But as Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson have both said, this is on the quarterback. He had some mistakes that led to sacks. You know, sometimes it's a tight end or a running back. Look, everybody needs to be cleaner to take care of Khalil Mack because this is an elite player, and he's the kind of guy that if you let him can wreck the game plan.
And it's just crazy how effective he was in week 1, just being added to the team just shortly beforehand, and still so effective in that game against the Green Bay Packers. All right, and finally, let's talk and end things on a positive note, and that's 57.5, the average punt by Michael Dixon, a rookie. What can we expect from him?
His net average of 57.5, which is just a crazy number. That's about 10 yards better than the best average in the NFL last season. That's a game changer, and especially when you go on the road, field position can make such a big difference. He had 4 punts inside the 20, 2 of those were inside the 10, and I mean, the perfect example of that, he punted 6 times. On those 6 possessions for Denver, they only got a field goal. That's all they scored. All their touchdowns came off of kickoffs. So he can be a game changer, but on the other side of that, the Bears have a game changer in the return game in Tariq Cohen. He's a dynamic little second-year shifty running back. Guys had a 42-yarder last week. He's a real threat every time he touches the ball. So coverage units will have their hands full, and field position could be big in this game.
They call him the human joystick. When you have a nickname like that, you know they have to be dangerous. Well, I'm going to throw in 4, and that is the Seahawks have beat the Chicago Bears the last 4 times they met them. 3 of those were at Soldier Field. All right, well, kickoff is set for 5:15 p.m. You can watch it on ESPN or Cairo 7, and of course, you can always listen to it on the Seahawks Radio Network.